in there. All right, live. We're live. Okay. Hello, everybody. It's Bruce here with Stock Markets with Bruce. Welcome to the first ever live show for Stock Markets with Bruce. I'm still trying to figure out the logistics, but I'm hoping it all works out. There are people here already, which is awesome. Welcome to those of you who are joining me live on my new YouTube channel called Stock Markets with Bruce, the sister channel to Traveling with Bruce. Nice to have you here. Today is the first time I've ever tried to go live on this new channel, and we've got trivia today, which is usually what I do on the other channel. But today I thought, why not spice things up and put Bruce into a tizzy and technically challenge Bruce to the nth degree. Let's see if we can just go live on this channel today. It is June the 20th, 2020. I'll tell you, folks, what a week the markets have had. Unbelievable. The markets have been gyrating like crazy, and Friday was no exception. What a week. The week before, we had that big drop last week, and then all this week, the market tried to do a bit of recovery, but couldn't get it all back, interestingly enough. I found that interesting to note that despite some of the good days we had this week, the market didn't bring back all the losses. Welcome, those of you who are here. If you are here as a follower of mine from TWB, Traveling with Bruce, welcome. I really appreciate you folks hanging out with me. I make sure you've subscribed to this channel. If you haven't already, throw this live show thumbs ups. If you're watching me and you have never seen my other channel, Traveling with Bruce, you've only watched me as a Stock Market with Bruce guy. Welcome, you guys. You are groundbreakers to this channel. You're the first of the new followers of mine, and I hope you'll enjoy or are enjoying my videos, and you'll enjoy these live shows. I haven't decided yet when these live shows will become regular events. I like doing lives because I can interact and engage with my viewers back and forth. I really enjoy this part of the YouTube world, and it definitely tells me what it is you want me to do for you. I have some ideas in mind what I'm going to do with this channel and how I'm going to proceed. But you viewers out there are the ones that will guide me, and you'll let me know. I don't like what you do there. I like what you did there. I kind of go with it. Thank you for being here. I like to say hi to everybody who pops in. I see MG Toe here. Nice to have you here, buddy. You're the first to write in on the first ever show. Fantastic. And thumbs up. You got the right idea. Thumbs ups for this video. If you could do that, folks, that'll help with the analytics with YouTube to get this channel off the ground. Kirk Brunson is here from New York City, one of my TWB followers. How you doing, buddy? Nice to have you here today. Dio Guerrero is here. Greetings from Colorado Springs. Let me know where you are watching me from. I love that. Love to hear from where you are watching me from. Dylan LaRue, I know where you are, Dylan, in Henderson, Nevada. Welcome, pal. Larry Qualter, hi, Bruce. Larry from Peekskill, New York. Welcome, Larry from Peekskill. Nice to have you. Paul Thompson, hi, Bruce from Hertford, United Kingdom. Fantastic. Got viewers, as always, following me on my other channel around the world, and it's happening here too. I love this. Arnold PLA, welcome. Hello all. Welcome, Arnold, to my channel, my first ever live show for Stock Markets with Bruce. Welcome. John Lewis, good evening from Northamptonshire, UK. Oh my gosh, good evening from beautiful the UK. Great people there. Brenda Macon, hi from High Point, North Carolina. Welcome, Brenda. Debbie Manuel from Chico, California. I know who this person is. Hi, Debbie. How you doing? Nice to see you here. Folks are here for trivia. Brenda Macon, I am a groundbreaker. Yes, you are, Brenda. You're a groundbreaker. Jason Kimmons, hello from Lakeland, Florida. $1.99 a gallon for gas in Lakeland, Florida. Right on. Yeah, let me know the gas prices where you guys are living too, if you can. Dylan, my neighbor came knocking. I didn't answer. Then I could hear him talking to my other neighbors. Right on. Tim Bowman, good afternoon, Bruce, from cloudy Seattle. Welcome. Devin C., could you talk about after hours trading and what it actually means and what effects it has when the market opens again? Yes, I'd love to do that. Yeah, give me a sec. I'll say hi to the other folks and we'll do that. John LeBeau, hey, Bruce, Raleigh, North Carolina. How you doing, John? SLGC Mets, hi from New Jersey. Welcome from the Garden State. Arnold, TWB sub. Right on, Arnold. Love it. Robert O'Connor, New Smyrna Beach, Florida, right on Robert O'Connor. Welcome. Joe S. is here. Hi from the suburbs of Boston, 91 degrees, $1.75 for gas, 91. We're only going to be about 65 today here in Creston. I'm in Creston, British Columbia, 3 miles north of the Idaho border in Canada. I can see the U.S. from my living room. It's just over here. America looks great. It always looks great. And I have a lot of followers and viewers from the USA. Margie Butcher, hiya from Florence, Arizona. How you doing, Margie? JT, hi, Bruce. What is your stock to bond mix? Oh, I don't have any stock to bond mix. Hello, Bruce from Garden State. Eric is saying, Wes Morrison, good luck on your first live show. Thanks, Wes. Thanks. Nice to have you here from New Braunfels, Texas. Nice to have you here, buddy. Margie, gas 239, temperature 97 degrees. And Rebecca Reimer, hello from North Carolina. Let me talk about aftermarket trading because someone asked. Aftermarket trading takes place after just like it means, once the stock market closes in the afternoon, there's usually 2 hours of aftermarket trading where certain brokerage firms have linked up their computer systems and have linked up clearing systems where they are allowing traders to trade stock between them. And most of the online brokerage firms are linked into this system. I believe most of practically all firms are usually linked into this by now. It used to be a very small elite group of traders that were involved in this, but now it seems to be opening up as a bigger street-wide thing. To me, I just don't understand why the New York Stock Exchange has such limited hours. I remember the old days when I was a stockbroker, branch manager of a brokerage firm. We used to have so much paperwork that we had to handle at the end of the day. I mean, everything was done through the cry out loud system. You were yelling the orders on the floor, filling out little ticket books, and then you're phoning your office with the fills. And at the end of the day, we had to figure out all of our buys and sells and any disputes between brokerage firms and floor traders and desk traders and brokers. And oh my gosh. And we would have the paperwork to settle everything out. And then we had a week to settle the trade. I mean, it was just one thing that you bought the stock today. You had a week to pay us for it. If you sold the stock today, we had a week to pay you for the sale. Now it's, 24, 72-hour turnarounds on payouts and settlements. It's all different. Anyway, aftermarket trading, that's been a recent phenomenon. I'm going to say in the last 15 years or so, it sort of showed up, and now it's much more common. Now it's like everyday thing. And if you've got a phone and you're watching your favorite stock, likely on your Apple phone, you probably have a feature where you can see how the stock is doing in the aftermarket. But it's, it's handy because, of course, a lot of companies wait until the close of business on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ before they announce their latest quarterly results or annual reports. Or a number of public companies will wait until the close of trading and then announce major statements. Maybe a president is retiring, or they've acquired another company. There's a merger going on, or whatever the news of the day has to be. And so now with aftermarket trading, this gives traders, stockholders like you and I, opportunities to trade stock after the market closes in anticipation of what it's going to do tomorrow on regular trading hours. Now, having said all this, there's also what's called pre-market trading, where you can trade stock before the market opens. And I believe that is that's an hour or two. I don't exactly have the times. I'd heard it was a half an hour, and I think I've seen pre-trading longer than that. What frustrates me as a and we used to frustrate me as a trader was that I would see the prices of stocks move in the pre-market. I couldn't be part of it because my firm didn't allow me to pre-market trade. And so a stock would open up or down, 20 cents, a buck, $2, whatever the price of the stock is and whatever the severity or happy news coming out, the stocks would jump before the market even opened. So when the stock market opened at regular hours, the first trade on the board would be, $1 higher or a buck lower than where it closed at. There is no correlation between one and the other. We're in the old days when I was a broker with paper and pencil and paper and pen. Shares usually just kind of, continued on from where they left off the night before or the afternoon before, more or less. Although, there were sometimes overnight events that would create a buzz on the street. But I used to remember that in the 70s and the 80s, the first market of the day was the most important market of the day, the most important hour, I should say, of the day, because in that hour, what you would have is the tone of the market would be set. Because everyone had to talk to everyone on telephone through teletype. We were all reading news on the Dow Jones machines, where we had these long rolls of paper, and the machine would just go, and we'd be standing around the Dow Jones reading the announcements. And it would take an hour for the street to figure out what the mood of the street was. Well, today in the electronic instantaneous world, we already know what the mood of the market is, and this is the pre-market. Now, the post-market, the aftermarket, we get the mood of the market after the official market is closed. We now hear what press releases are being done, or any announcements being made. And you can't, as a corporation, as a publicly traded company, it's kind of hard to get away with making a press release, without the shareholders knowing about it. And in reality, any press release you make that has any kind of material effect on the potential future of the company should be made for the convenience of the shareholders. And generally speaking, I would say you would want to release that before the market opened, or during the day. Halt the stock, make an announcement, then retrade. Now with the pre-market announcements and post-market announcements, investors can react to the news. And so I think it's a positive thing. My personal opinion, I think it's a positive thing. MK, Bruce is cruising through the stock market YouTube show. Good luck. Thank you. John Lewis, I have over 7,700 Carnival shares. I will be sitting on them for a while until I see them get close to where they used to be. Okay, John. Ryan, hi, it's Ryan. I'm only 12 years old, so stock traders aren't for me yet, but I like to educate myself watching your videos. Nice job. Right on, Ryan. You couldn't start you're doing it right. You want to learn about the market and cruising, you follow what we're doing. You bet. Mickey Mouse, a spirit animal. My spirit animal. Hello, Bruce and TW family. Welcome, Mickey Mouse. Welcome to Stock Markets with Bruce channel today. Steve, hello, Bruce. I would love your thoughts on the massive Fed infusions. Do you think it is disrupting price discovery or the free markets? Well, the U.S. Fed, the Federal Reserve, is making sure that there is plenty of liquidity for corporate entities to do what they have to do to maintain business. There's enough liquidity for banks to be allowed to issue loans, whether on their own volition or whether with government backing, all depending on some of these stimulus and relief programs that have been passed. I think it's a smart move by the Fed. It's one of the weapons they have to maintain liquidity in the system. Other world banks, the top bank in Germany and the European Union and Japan and others are also making sure there's liquidity because this is a worldwide pandemic scenario we're into, not a localized geopolitical one country problem or a two country problem. This is a worldwide issue, and so liquidity is the key. I remember the last time we saw this kind of intervention and involvement by the Fed in any big way was back in 08, 09 when we had the financial crisis, but that was more of a G10 kind of, over froth mortgage market, which was really North America generated. It was really USA predominantly, with Canada a little bit. And then worldwide investors who got caught up in holding instruments that were connected to this massive overvaluation of real estate. I mean, it was ridiculous. Houses went from $250,000 in 2000, and were worth $500,000 6 years later. It's ridiculous. There was no inflation. Interest rates were dropping. There was no need for the price action to do that. And there wasn't such a shortage of housing that the prices had to double like that, especially from 250 to 500. Ridiculous. Some went from 400 to 800, and so on and so on. Where today, the problem we're having here is a pandemic scenario where business is being artificially shut down. It's being told to shut down, and it's tough to conduct normal economic activity. And so for the Fed, they're doing what they've got to do. I think it's a good move. It is certainly leading to a lot of cash sloshing around the system. I'll give you that. But the Fed can tighten whenever they feel the need to. And then going down the road, I'm sure they will, but they'll do it in a measured way, like after the financial crisis, because they don't want to stop a recovery in its tracks. Now, speaking of a recovery, Friday afternoon on the markets, we saw something. I saw something that I wanted to bring to your attention, and I will show you a little chart here that I popped up. I saw something on Friday that really indicated to me that we may have the first sign of the stock market figuring out that, oops, something is up, because for the last, since March, when we hit the lows after the initial drop off from the pandemic, we've had a market going up, up, and up. And last week, Thursday, was the first real hiccup where we had a down day, or serious down day. Then we had some recovery days. But Friday afternoon, something happened that is, I think, going to might be sticking around with us for a while. Let me show you what I think I'm talking about. Here we go. This is a chart just off my phone, the Dow Jones Industrial Index. You'll notice here that that right over here, sort of at the beginning of the day from here, for about the first 2 hours, it was on a slight down dip, and then it took a real shot, and a little recovery, and then another down dip, and a little recovery, and another down dip. And what we have here is we have our friends at Apple who are responsible for this. The folks at the Apple Corporation, they announced that a number of their stores would be reclosing for a second time. Let me see if I get my number here. They're closing for a second time in some of the states where the virus has reappeared. Florida, Texas, Arizona are three. I think South Carolina is another. I know that there are a number of states in the southern U.S. that have got record amounts of COVID cases showing up, record numbers. And this has affected Apple employees. Apple employees in their stores, some of them are reporting in ill. They're becoming ill. And the Apple company is worried about all of their staff, because they're frontline people in these retail locations. Customers are coming in without masks. They're not social distancing, and Apple's had enough. And so they've just started shutting down stores to keep their employees safe. This is the first high-profile corporation that has really stepped up and said, hold it a minute, time out. We got us a problem here, Houston. And I think what we might be witnessing is the realization of the fact that the investors, when they heard this announcement, the market took a shot down. The Dow 30 and of course NASDAQ, the stock market backed off, and investors went, wait a minute, we might not have what we were hoping to have, which was a V-shaped recovery. We were thinking the stock market would go down and then the market would go back up. We'd have a V-shaped recovery. And economically, we'd have a V-shaped economic rebound, and everything would go right back to 2019. It's not happening, and it's not going to happen, because this shutdown there was an initial shutdown. We all know about that. We know New York, New Jersey, they really closed things down, as did in Massachusetts, up in the Northeast. They had to do it. California did the shutdown, kept the numbers muted. But certain states in the South did not buy into the full program. Certain other states in the U.S. definitely did not buy into the program, and they tried to just keep right on going, and they are now paying the price. The states that did not do a full shutdown and who were the first to reopen with the quickest, trying to get their economy going as fast as possible, they are paying a price right now. I think just yesterday, Florida had over 4,000 cases of the virus, a record number and the highest ever. And the markets are figuring out, oh my gosh, 20 million unemployed Americans. The stimulus package runs out in September, October of this year, that $2.3 billion stimulus deal, which guaranteed millions of Americans their jobs until September, October. That's going to run out. It's not going to be renewed. And there are going to be corporations like these airlines who are following through with hundreds of thousands of layoffs to just touch the tip of the iceberg. We already know Hertz is done for. We know hotels have been shut down. We know the cruise lines have been highly affected. this is going to spread across the rest of the economy. And we may be into the 25, 35, 40 million unemployment rate, numbers we had never, ever imagined before. And the so-called climbing out will be like a hockey stick instead of a V. So instead of going down like this, if I get my finger right, and then coming up like that, we're going to do this, or maybe the other way around, going down like this and coming back, whichever is correct for you, because everything's inverted for me, folks. This recovery could take 2 years, and we may only get back to 3/4 of what we had in 19 for the next 2 years, which means a lot of companies out there that were on razor thin margins, surviving and thriving on high, heavy cash flows, are not going to be having good numbers at all. The quarterly reports going forward for a number of these public companies is going to be absolutely terrifying for us to watch. And I caution all of you out there, take a look at this chart here. I'll see if I can get this one to work. That's Apple there. And again, you can see here where Apple started here at a record high right there. That was the record high at the beginning of the day. Then it was drifting. Then it came out with the announcement, boom, and a little recovery, and then a slump all the way down towards the end, and ended up at 348 in the aftermarket. You can see the regular market and towards the top up here, right up there. 349.72 was the close at the end of the day. And then on the other side of that phone right over there is the 348.18. That's the aftermarket close. So it dropped another $1.50 in the aftermarket. Here is Carnival. Carnival shares already down from the mid-20s last week. We're in that $19 range. Took a first shot down, held around, and then Carnival and the CLIA, the Cruise Line International Association, came out with their announcement yesterday afternoon, just with about an hour and a bit to go before the day was done on the market, and they announced the complete shutdown for all cruise ships in and out of the U.S. Until September the 15th. They've gone past the CDC drop dead date. The CDC told cruise lines you can't cruise until July 24th. Now the CLIA is telling cruise lines no U.S. ports until September the 15th at the earliest. Goodbye summer season for all cruises officially. And now you're not going to see cruises until late September if the CDC and the CLIA can get together. They're not even together yet on the same page because the CDC is still going, we have no idea whether cruise lines should be cruising at all until we have a vaccine. These two groups are just not, they're doing this. They're not doing this. They're miles apart. And the cruise lines are desperately trying to get something through. I'll just pop this up and see if you can see that relatively well. Again, this is from Market Watch. This is available free of charge to anybody out there. You can go to Market Watch. I put in the stock symbol CCL for Carnival, and it closed at 1780. I circled there in red that point in time where the announcement came out that they're not sailing now in the U.S. until September the 15th. And you can see that massive gap, and the stock had already been down on the day as it was. So, yeah, not good news for the three publicly traded cruise lines, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, and Carnival, and they represent a huge chunk of the U.S. Cruising market. They are all in a world of hurt, and they're going to continue to be there. Carnival is burning $650 million a month in cash just to stay as quiet and as low as they are. They're trying to offload their crew. They've got ships all over the world. They're trying to offload crew, physically, literally shipping them home to Indonesia and the Philippines and India and all kinds of other countries. Here's a little photo I made, a little image from Cruise Mapper last week. Those are little triangles there. Those are all cruise ships in Manila. There are about 4 of them in the sea just outside of the Philippines, and then inside the harbor. Check this out. Here's the harbor in Manila. Those are all cruise ships. There's about 21 of them there. Every one of them are sitting there with about 2,000 Filipino crew members trying to get them home. And the problem in the Philippines is that the folks in Manila can only accept so many a day, because every crew member that gets off those ships, before they get off the ship, they have to be tested. Then they have to go into 2-week quarantine before they can go home inside the Philippines themselves. These folks that are on these ships now, some of them have been on the ships for 3 months, not working, waiting to get home, and they're still sitting there. And it's like every day a ship or so leaves the harbor and another one comes in with 2,000 more waiting their turn to offload their crew members. There must be 40 to 50,000 Filipinos sitting there right now, and have been for months Because remember, folks, there are 390 cruise ships in the world, and 60% of all cruise ship staff are from the Philippines. It's a massive number. And I would say there are 400,000 crew members on board cruise ships, approximately. Some ships have 800, some have 2,200, depending on the size of the ship. And in the Philippines, we're talking here 250,000 Filipinos who have been trying to get back home. The cruise lines want to get them off the ship and get them out of there because they're feeding them 3 times a day, to the tune of thousands and thousands of people, and they're not performing any services because there are no passengers to look after. This is a real mess. And so you take the numbers for Norwegian and Royal Caribbean and Carnival, combine the 3, and it's $1 billion a month that they're burning up in cash. Just $1 billion a month going up, and they're making their payments on their ships, although many of them are deferred now. Insurance, legals, head office, all of the crew, absolutely devastating numbers, and there is no likelihood of a cruise starting up. Certainly not until this fall. I don't see cruises starting really until 2021, and I'm nervous that without a vaccine, that could be another year. We may not be sailing till 2022, and this could be the end of certain cruise lines. The one that's in trouble right now is CMV out of the UK. They announced 2 days ago that they were in talks with Barclays Bank to get a £25 million emergency loan. That deal fell through at the last minute. Now they're scrambling to find any money from anybody. And then I heard yesterday that the UK health authorities at the ports in the UK, where their 6 ships or 5 ships are docked, these ships have been boarded by health inspectors and port authorities for surprise inspections to make sure that the crew members, of which there are 1,440 odd, most from Indonesia and the Philippines and India, making sure they're okay, because some of these crew members have been on hunger strikes to try to get off these ships and get home, and they can't get home. There are no commercial flights between the UK and the Asia. The only way to get there is to charter a plane, and I don't think the cruise line can afford to charter a plane. And so these guys are stuck on the ship, and they still have to feed them. It's ridiculous. It's just an absolute nightmare. And anyway, CMV might be in trouble. Adult-only cruise line, but their ships are anywhere from 35 years old to 50 years old. These ships were built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they're going to have a tough time raising money because no banker will lend them money on ships of that age. It's really unreal. So the cruise lines are hurting. The airlines are hurting. The airlines are frantically trying to get up and run as quick as possible to stem their bleeding. American Airlines was it at $16 a share earlier this week, maybe even $19 a share, and I would not be in an airline stock right now. My personal hunch, I would not want to be long airline stocks. I have a feeling that this revisitation, this resurgence of the virus happening now in various places like Texas and Florida. If this spreads back into New York, you can count on Cuomo, the governor, shutting down New York again completely. And how the FAA, by the way, allows airlines to fly without restrictions is beyond me. Within the USA, airlines can fly whatever markets they want to fly to. They can load up the plane right to the brim. I've heard this week that making mask wearing mandatory on a plane is not necessarily doable. The airlines might not be able to get away with it. I wouldn't want to be on a flight from LA to New York for 5.5 hours with 150 other people in a narrow body plane. I'm just asking for it. I'm just asking to catch it. I do not understand how cruise lines are totally shut down by the CDC, and yet airplanes, you can do whatever the heck you want. It just boggles the mind. The middle seats should be blocked off, and I think going forward, airlines should be restricted to about 65% capacity of what it used to be, and they just have to remodel their business accordingly. That's just my take on it. I would pay more for a seat knowing that I had more, but That's not the thinking. The thinking is, let's get back to the way it was because we had it all. We got to nail the passenger for baggage fees. We got to nail them for every nickel and dime charge. We got to treat them like cattle, and we were making money. And I just am amazed how Americans will tolerate that within their own country. Canadians, we're upset up here, by the way. Don't think we in Canada have luxury either. We hate our national airlines. We have two of them. We hate them both. But international airlines coming into the US and Canada, I would far rather take British Airways to London than take Air Canada to London. I would far rather fly Emirates out of the United States than fly American Airlines out of the United States any day of the week, because you've seen the videos on YouTube of how luxurious these airplanes are. Even in economy, you get treated like a human being, not on the American lines and or Canadian lines. Not great at all. Anyway, so going forward, if this virus picks up again, like it seems to be picking up, and with an administration in Washington not interested in doing anything nationally, I mean, they're hands off right now. It's all up to the states. The FAA is toothless and gutless. The airline analysts own the FAA around their baby fingers. And cruise line lobbyists are just not winning. They just can't win. But the airline lobbyists are winning because they're allowing their airlines to do whatever they want. Anyway, there you go. Just a couple of thoughts from yours truly. Thank you all for being here today. Really appreciate you guys seeing me. I lost some of your messages, so please forgive me if I'm rereading some of them. Again, Eric, I know you're here. Thank you. I see John's comment. I've already comment on that or seen that. Let me just move up here if I can. Okay, Devlin, thank you. Devin saying thank you for the explanation. You're more than welcome. And Mickey Mouse Spirit Animal. I'm also going to sit on my DCL, NCL, and shares for now, Royal Caribbean shares. Bill is saying start them young. Exactly. John Lewis saying, when did you buy, Mikey? Liam is here saying hello. Hi, Liam. Welcome. Who else is here? What do you think about gold mining stocks? Boy, I don't know. I'm not afraid of inflation because of the amount of money that's sloshing around right now. I'm not afraid of inflation because of the lack of demand for oil and gas. There won't be inflationary forces there, and so gold can't gain from that area. Gold could gain value if the U.S. currency appears to be shaky, but with everyone running to the U.S. currency and running to U.S. bonds, we may see negative U.S. interest rates. Certainly, we're not going to see higher rates at this point with the amount of cash running around. So I don't like the upside for gold at the moment. But things can always change. MG Toe, Florida has become the epicenter of the plague. John Lewis, brilliant purchases, Mikey. MG, hey, Mikey. Who else have we got here? Let me just kind of skip through. Folks are saying hi to each other, which is great. It's the pattern on my other channel too. What do you think of Exxon? I keep seeing oil defying the laws of gravity right now. There's too much oil and not enough demand for it. If we're going into a second wave of this virus, we're going to see lower demand for oil even now. What I see in Brazil and in Mexico and in other foreign countries scares me. The WHO is reporting the highest numbers of new cases all time. The so-called good news that we keep hearing about from certain countries in Europe where the number of cases have dropped and the economies are picking up, they're a few and far between. The United States is plateauing, is not dropping off like a rock at all. The U.S. is doing hit 30,000 cases the other day for the first time since back in May in the U.S. Not good news. Too much evidence to me of an economy that is going to continue to slow up, not as fast as it slowed up in the first 90 days, by the way. We've already had the shock. Now we're going to get this Chinese water torture, one drip at a time, and it's just going to start driving us mad. I think we're going to see the market and the economy just grindingly slow down. I mean, in a real ugly way. And I think we're going to get the secondary layoffs these secondary layoff announcements that we were hoping we weren't going to see. And this is the coring out of what I call the middle class. I think the strength of America, the North American market and the European economies are lifted by a strong middle class, and I think the middle class is going to get kicked hard. And for Exxon, it doesn't look good because there's going to be all kinds of oil on the market. They can refine; they'll have no trouble refining all the gasoline anyone needs, and there just won't be as much of a need for it. And so I don't like the upside for Exxon. They're a solid company; they're not going under, but they're not going to reach the record numbers or anything like that. Unbelievable. John is saying, I'm an IT engineer, so I'm not stopped. However, when the stocks get back to close to where they were, there you go. Right on, John. We all hope for the best there. MG Ruth, get as much of Exxon as you can. There's someone's opinion. Mickey Mouse, John Lewis, yes, DCL is part of Disney, and the shares were 83, 84 end of February and March. Disney shares, yes. John Lewis, or should I say pounds being in the UK. Right on. Rebecca, here in Greensboro, North Carolina, as a precautionary measure, we are temporarily pausing today at Apple programming. Very, very interesting. Let's see here. Ed Tolleson from New York. Hello, Bruce and all from the cloudy New York City. 85 degrees and gas is up to $1.99. I don't think these high prices will last long. I think the spot price will begin to sink again as it becomes apparent that there's so much more available. The so-called a deal between Saudi Arabia and Russia and the OPEC members to try to limit, these guys all cheat. let's just get right to the bottom line. They can say whatever they want about what their production is going to be and what their official allowables are for production, but then they actually just keep pumping it, man. There are countries out there that are desperate for cash flow, and Saudi Arabia is one of them. They are in real need of cash flow, and they cannot afford to just limit back production. In theory, what they should be doing is they should actually announce double the restrictions, and they should actually cut production by 50%. They would then cause the price of oil to go to $75 a barrel almost within a week. The spot market price would go nuts. Making these guys richer, because if you produce less and you get way more, you're making more money because you are making as much cash as you are today with less product, which means you don't have to work as hard to make as much money. But they can't seem to take the first step, and they don't trust each other. And there's the savior for those of us in the West, in the North American economies and in Europe, because these oil producers don't trust each other. They're always backstabbing each other. We are the beneficiaries with cheap energy, and have been for decades. It's unbelievable. Only a few times in the past 20 years has oil actually spiked. Every time oil has reached new highs, it has crashed right back down because these guys can't. They just don't get it. They just don't. OPEC is in name only an organization. In reality, not much. Anyway, there you go. Let's see here. John Lewis is saying that MSC and Costa are looking to restart Mediterranean cruises in August. Not going to happen. 400 cruise locations in Europe, and none of them have the same policies. Spain has announced their restart date for cruising in Spain. Indefinite suspension. That's the restart date in Spain. Indefinite. There is no restart date for any Spanish ports. So the number one port in Europe is Barcelona. A lot of cruises start and end there. Nothing is going into Barcelona. Not even day visits. Not going to happen. I don't see if there's a secondary wave coming through how Europe can even think about starting cruises, because where these passengers are coming from to get on the ships and where they're going when they get off the ships, it's like herding cats. And I don't see anything in Mediterranean. These cruise lines will be canceling cruises going forward, from what I can tell you. Can I buy puts in Carnival? Yes, you can. You can buy call options and put options on any of these stocks. If they're an S&P 500, there's probably an option available. But yes, you can buy puts in these cruise stocks. You want to run the short side on them for sure. Ruth Ann Greenberg, what do you think about bond funds like Goen and Steers? Can't tell you. I don't know. I'm not a follower of bond funds. All I can tell you, though, with bonds is that, in my opinion, there are two kinds of bonds: the kinds that are safe and the kinds that are risky. Safe bonds, Western government bonds, pay virtually no interest for your cash. High-end corporates will pay better than a treasury bill, of course. And then you've got companies like I'm just mentioning Carnival, Norwegian, and Royal Caribbean. They've been to the markets in the last 90 days to raise billions of bucks against their assets, which are their cruise ships. And they've been successful. They've been able to raise billions. But what they've done is they've telephoned their brokerage connections in Wall Street, all their bankers, and they've said, look, here at Royal Caribbean, we need to raise $4 billion of fresh cash. What can you do for us? And the broker calls them back a couple of days later and says, yeah, I can raise you $4 billion. But we're going to need a series of notes. We're going to need short-term and medium-term notes. We're going to need longer-term notes. We're going to need convertible features on some of these notes. In other words, convert the bond into stock, which dilutes your stockholders. Oh, and by the way, we're going to need interest rates. Instead of last year when we used to tell you could raise $2 billion like that at 2% interest, 2.5% interest, we're now talking 4.5% to 7% for a two-year note. And you want a 5-year note, we're talking 10 to 12% interest. Oh, by the way, just so you know, the bonds that you sold last year, that you sold the year before that, those are trading now at a low level. So that if I were to buy one now, I'd be getting 12% interest. They've discounted. They've gone way down in value because the risk factor has gone way up. No cruise line can say, we're definitely going to start all our cruise ships on this day. Can't do it. And so the price is going worse and worse. So bond funds, if they're into high interest rate junk bonds, the risk factor just went up. I'm sure that these bond funds buy insurance to guard against the insolvency of a company, but that takes away from the return. So it's one of these damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'm not a fan of bond funds, as you can tell. Jason, how low do you see Carnival stock falling to? Could it go below 10? It could. It could go below 10. When they suspended cruising back in March, when all the cruise lines suspended cruising, the thinking was it would be a 30-day deal. By the way, cheers to all of you out there. If you get a chance to visit my other channel, Traveling with Bruce, please do so. Welcome to Stock Markets with Bruce. This here is caffeine-free Diet Coke, by the way. It keeps me going if you know my channel. And in the next 5 minutes, we're going to start trivia, by the way, so stand by for trivia. Carnival, they closed around that $17.80 range on Friday. They were as high as $25 odd a week and a half ago before the first drop off of the market. They got down to 18, recovered back to 2021, then they went back down to 18, got back to 20. Then Friday, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, down. The realization now is setting in with investors for the big three cruise lines that are publicly traded: Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, and Carnival. They're not going to be sailing until really towards the end of the year. And that's if things go well. Things are not going well. With Florida hitting new high cases of COVID-19, record numbers this week, every day this week, a new record high. It's not going down, it's going up. Florida has the Tampa port, the Miami, the Fort Lauderdale, Port Canaveral, and Jacksonville. These ports will be shut down by the CDC. They will not allow a single cruise ship in and out of those ports, even if the CDC and the cruise lines can make a deal for other ports. But Texas has new record highs. So forget Galveston. New York City, they're still coming out of their disaster. CDC is not going to allow that. And keep in mind, how are people from Europe going to be able to come into the United States to take a cruise? You can't get a flight into the United States. And if you land in London from the US, you're going straight into 14-day quarantine under the UK rules. There is no cruising, folks. There will be none for quite some time. The cruise lines are reluctant to cancel out. They're kind of doing it every 30 days. We'll announce another shutdown in another month and another month. They're not ripping the Band-Aid off. If they just ripped the Band-Aid off and said no cruising until next March, We could stop speculating, but the stocks are in trouble. I think that the price of these shares have gone too far, way too fast. I felt that they were a bargain, Carnival, at the $8 to $10 range. I thought they were a good price then for a 2 to 3 year hold. I mentioned that months ago. They went to 25 in a month. People were just so exuberant that it's all coming back. We're all going to sing Kumbaya by our campfires this year. Not happening. And, now we're seeing the slow, awful, grinding drop. I think the markets overall may well be in a 2-1 pattern. 2 steps down, 1 step up. 2 steps down, 1 step up, going forward for the next 6 months, as the realization of the economic slowdown is really taking hold and is becoming apparent across all the economies, all the different businesses out there. Yeah, there are winners, as you know. If you're watching CNBC and these other channels, you're following the winners out there, Amazon and eBay and, e-commerce businesses. Yeah. But brick and mortar, shopping malls, mom and pop shops, mechanic places, where people work with their hands, where you literally have to go for something to be done, whether it's a shoe repair guy, appliance repair. There are businesses that are going to be down for quite some time. And when they come back, they're going to be back at a fraction of what they have. By the way, the cruise lines, I keep talking about the restarting of cruises. Carnival said that when they were going to restart, they're going to start with 8 ships. They have 29 in the Carnival brand. Then the rumor came out that cruise lines might be limited to 50% occupancy. So the most they can carry is half the number of people they used to carry. Well, if you're down to 15% of your fleet that's going to start up and at only half capacity, you're only starting at 7.5% total capacity compared to 2019. You're still losing billions of dollars. There is no hope for these cruise lines to return to normal. And I wonder about hotel stocks as well. Anyway, there you go. Could well be below 10, Jason. MG, these cruise ship employees work hard for a living. It's time that they had a cruise themselves. Let them relax. By the way, I like flip food. Let the employees rest. Okay, John. Barclays is not a great bank to deal with during bad times. During 9/11, they turned their backs on most hospitality companies that needed help. Carol Nichols, good afternoon from Georgetown, Texas. Enjoy both your channels. Thank you so much, Carol, and welcome to the show. I'm getting ready for trivia here. Kirk Brunson, Bruce, I ordered 3 COVID masks yesterday. My wife didn't like the cheap masks, so she wanted your masks. Speaking of my masks, by the way, let me show you something. Check it out. For those of you who are following me on Traveling with Bruce, here is a TWB COVID face mask, and here you go. I'm good to go with my own COVID face mask for Traveling with Bruce. We now have, I think we have 35 or 40 logos for the channel. Here's another logo here, another one. Traveling with Bruce. I got mine in. They arrived. Here's another one here. TWB. You can get this logo in a black format like that, or you can get the same logo with the white background. Totally up to you. And our masks arrived this week. And I thank you, all of you out there who are going to my Redbubble store on the other channel, Traveling with Bruce. There's a Redbubble store link down below. You can order these for yourself. And thank you for your support. I get a royalty every time somebody buys those. There will be, to answer any of you out there, there will eventually be Stock Market with Bruce merchandise coming, but I have to get this channel going first. It's only a week old. Closing in Charlotte, not Greensboro, says Rebecca. Okay, MG Tow, the airlines and cruise ships will sell every seat cabin they can. That's true, but cruise lines will be restricted, I'm sure. First Sergeant Richard, hello, brother Bruce. A late hello from Virginia. Picked up a couple of 100 shares of Royal Caribbean at $20. So far I'm happy. Right on. They are ahead of that for sure. Arnold is giving me thumbs ups. Thank you, all of you out there who are giving me thumbs ups. I appreciate it. MG Tow, I love Canada Air and hate British Air. British Air always lose the bags of passengers. Air Canada use Embraer jets and the seats are bigger, and Canada stews are a lot more professional. Cruise are a lot more professional. Kathy Mills just jumping in with ears wide open. We'll also catch the first part on replay. Thank you, Kathy, so much for being here. I hope you're enjoying my channel. Early days for this channel. Jiminy Cricketer, 6th staffer of a Trump rally test positive. I've heard that the advanced team, 6 in the advanced team, tested positive. Ed Tolleson Jr., hello, John. James is here. Hey, Bruce, made a new account, HM the King. Right on, James. Our new cases here in Ireland have been below 25 for each day for the past 2 weeks. That's good news. Really good news. Eric Z, we might revisit the March lows if we shut down again. You got that right. James Ford, so glad to see alive on this channel and nice and early too. Right on. Glad you made it. Jason, how long do you think CCL will go? How low? Like I say, it's possible they could revisit lows. Shane, what are puts and what does it mean to buy and sell short? I'm new to stocks, very interested in learning. Okay, if you think a stock's going down and you want to make money while it goes down, one way to do it is to sell the shares that you don't own. Now, some brokerage firms will let you open up an account, even online traders, where you might have to open what's called a margin account, which is kind of a credit type instrument where you apply to borrow money through them. And you might have to have a minimum balance in your account. It might be $1,000, might be $2,000, might be $5,000. I don't know. Each firm is different. You have to do your own homework. But you can theoretically sell stock. Let's say you sold Carnival at $20 a share 2 days ago, thinking that there might be bad news coming. And the shares went down to $18 a share in the last 2 days, which they did. You could have bought them back for 18. The difference between 20 and 18 is your profit, $2 a share. Now, in the case of selling stock short, you have to borrow money sometimes from the broker to do it. So you pay interest, but with today's interest rates, that's very low, daily interest. Some brokerage firms will charge a fee to operate a margin account. It might be a monthly fee, $5 a month, $6 a month. You shop around for that. You have to pay sometimes a commission to sell or buy a stock back. But if you can net out 10% return, $2 on a $20 sale in 2 days, there's money left over, lots. And shorting stock doesn't mean you have to make a lot of money. You can sell a stock short at, say, $18.50 and buy it back at $18.25. You make a quarter. It's a question of how many shares can you short. There's how much money you make. So some folks have enough capital to short 1,000 shares at a time. So they short 1,000 at $18.50 and they buy them back at $18.25 the same morning, the same afternoon. That's a $250 net profit on the transaction, 1,000 times 25 cents. Others short for nickels and dimes. There are people who short Apple, even though Apple generally had just hit a new high on Friday. There are people out there who are shorting stock because it's hitting a new high. Their thinking is, well, it's at the all-time high. There could be a correction. Maybe it'll come back a little bit. Sometimes announcements like the announcement that Apple made, when the Apple made the announcement, the stock took a dip, had a rally. People shorted it there. It went down again. They made money the second time around. But again, if you short, you could lose your keister, because if you short a stock that's at an all-time high, and let's say it's $15, whatever the company is, and it hits a new all-time high the next day at 16, and you're short at 15, you're now down $1. It goes to 17, you're down $2. It could go to $50 a share, and you're down $35 a share. You could be wiped out financially. Stock brokerage firms, though, will buy you back in. They'll force your buy back because your margin limit will be reached, and they'll kick you out. Another way to play the market short and to be a little more, it's actually a little bit more conservative, and yet it's a risky investment, kind of a, one versus the other. It's buying what's called a put contract or a call contract. If you like a stock because it's going to go up, you buy a call. If you think a stock's going down, you buy a put. One contract represents 100 shares of stock. So if you thought, for example, or if you think right now at $17.50 a share, you think Carnival is going to go to 10 in the next 2 months, it's going to reach 10. You can buy a put contract. You can buy a put contract that will allow you to technically sell stock to somebody else of Carnival at, say, $18 a share, or $17 a share, or $19 a share. Different contracts at different levels. And depending on the level of the level of the contract, that's how much you're going to pay to buy the contract. Someone will sell you the contract because they're betting against you, and you're buying the contract, and you'll sell it later to someone who wants to buy it. This is the liquidity of the market. But the bottom line is, the stock is trading at $17 and you think it's going to 10, that's a $7 drop. And if you buy a contract that allows you to sell stock to somebody else at $17 a share, You might have to pay, say, for a 3-month contract, 90 days of life before that contract expires. You might have to pay $2 a share for that contract. I'm not telling you that's exactly what it is. I'm just guessing. But it might cost you $2 per share. So you're paying $200 to someone for the right to sell somebody, anybody, in other words, the person who sold you this contract, they will buy the stock back from you for $17 a share for 90 days, but you got to give them $200 right now. In effect, you're only going to get $15 a share because you sell it for 17. You paid $2 for the privilege. You only netted out 15. But if you think it's going to 10 anyway, you're a happy camper because the stock's at 10. You can sell it at 17. It cost you $2 to do it. You're still ahead $5. But you don't have to own any shares of the stock to buy the put contract. You're just buying a put contract. You don't own any stock. You're never going to own any of the stock. All you want to do is profit on the downdraft of the value of the stock. So you pay $200 for one contract for 100 shares to sell at 17 for 90 days. The stock in the next 2 weeks, let's say it goes to $10. Sometime during the day, anytime during the day, it reaches $10 a share. At that moment in time, you could say, I'm a happy camper. I want out. I want to cash in my profit. The contract that I bought for $2 is actually worth right $7 in real value. I have a $17 price that I can sell the stock at, and I have a $10 market price that I can buy the stock. So my contract is worth $7 a share, pure book value right now. But it still has 60 days to go. This happened in 30 days from 17 to 10. The contract still has 60 days of life left in it. That contract will still be worth $1.50. It'll have a $1.50 premium to it on top of its book value. So it'll be trading at $8.50. The $7 that it's worth plus a $1.50 premium because it's got 60 more days of life. So now you bought in at 2 and you're selling out at 8.5. You made a $6.50 net profit on the contract. If you want to buy a contract right now that is, say, a $20 contract where you are allowed to sell the stock at $20, you can do that. It's worth $3 book value right now because the stock's at 17, and it has a premium on top of it of probably $2 more or $1.50 more. So in effect, it's trading at closer to $5. But the $17 contract is at the money. The stock is at 17. The contract lets you sell at 17. And the only value to that contract is the time it has left to live. 90 days, $2 a share, $200 a contract. You can also buy a $15 contract or a $16 contract, but the $15 contract is out of the money. Why would you sell stock to someone for 15 when you can sell it on the market for 17? You see what I mean? So that contract might only be trading at $1 because it has no book value and its time value is 90 days, but it's out of the money. The stock has to drop $2 just to make that contract even. And it now only has time value. So if the stock were to drop to 10 and you have a $15 contract, you've made $5 on the spread between what you can sell it for and what you can buy the stock for. But remember, you probably paid $1 to get it. And so you only made a $4 profit. Each contract has its own strike price. Contracts have their own time frame. And the time frame, every day, the contract gets 1 day shorter to live. In 90 days, the contract has no time left. You can buy a contract for a Carnival or Apple or whatever that expires this week, next month, the month after, the month after, the month after. And there are weekly contracts that expire every week. They only have 1 week to live. They are super short-term instruments used by people who know what they're doing. But if you want to get into options, I recommend reading up on it and watching YouTubers that specialize in options contract videos, and you can get a handle on how that works. If you're watching CNBC, you'll see the Nigerian brothers always talking about options contracts. They do have, I think, a free book you can order from those guys, but you might be on their mailing list and get all kinds of propaganda from them. I don't know. But options traders are gamblers. But they gamble with limited money. If a stock like Carnival goes from $17 to $30 and you have a $17 put contract, your contract is worthless. You lose $200. But if you sell short 100 shares at $17 and you want to buy those back and the stock goes to 30, you've got to buy that stock back. And now you're out $1,300. 17 to 30, you lose the $13. So buying a put contract is a smaller risk, actually. It's only a $200 risk in the example I've given you, which is hypothetical, versus shorting stock and having it go up like that. All right. I hope I haven't confused too many of you. I will be making videos going forward about contracts and shorting and everything else. I have a lot to do yet. Current resident, hi Bruce, any comments on Nicola's hype? It is hype. I don't know if they'll be successful or not. Early days. I like the idea of an all-electric truck, but I like Tesla's possibility of being successful because they know what they're doing already. They build the entire unit in-house, whereas this company here buys a product. They buy parts from other manufacturers and then try to put together their electric component. Each has its own merits. Bruce, do you still have your own personal portfolio? Nope, I don't have any stock in my portfolio. I have no conflicts of interest with any position. Everything I talk about on the market is my opinion only. Some people can say it's entertainment. Others can call it education. I like to think it's educational, but I don't have any positions in any companies whatsoever. I'm a poor, struggling YouTuber, but I am an ex-broker. Oh, gosh. MG, the cruise passengers are coming from Wuhan, China, and visiting the opening ports around the world, sailing ports around the world. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. And these cruises won't need to sail to any U.S. port. That'll happen. I don't know. Alex, I'm sure people will move to private charters instead of 2,000-person cruises to keep safe, or not cruise at all. James, feels like everyone is an ostrich with their heads in the sand. Virus won't get tired, won't get bored. Yeah, I would be very worried about this virus. Very worried. MG James, you must be part of the communist agenda, whatever. G-Man, now what we know, we're in a bubble. Do you see a bubble? Where do you see a bubble? MG, tell them what happens if you short a stock and it goes up. I did. Ruth, go right through support or go right through support levels. That's true. Jason, will now be a good time to invest $50,000. Is Fidelity a good company or are there better people? Don't know. I can't give you that kind of advice. You need to talk to a professional. If you have a long-term investment time frame, then there's ways to set up portfolios for the long haul. And maybe ETFs are a way to go, mutual funds. Maybe set up your own little miniature ETF through some of these zero fee brokerage firms, but you might need an advisor to help you with that. James, my portfolio is 100% cash at the moment, waiting for Q2 earnings and July's economic figures. The bubble is too large to be taking big risks playing with fire. That's not a bad strategy either. Tom, is everyone, hi everyone, MG Toe, learning anything? Welcome, Tom Henry, to the show. Nice to have you here today, buddy. From Richmond, Virginia. Nice to have you. James, don't put all your eggs in one basket. This would be a good time for an opening position 5 years from now. As a value investor, you may have made some money. Ed Tolleson is saying hello to Tom. Who else have we have? G-Man wants to know what happens to the option contracts of stock splits. Then you get the split as well. So if a share splits 2 for 1, and they go, they used to trade at 200 a share. Now the shares are trading at 100 a share. Everybody has 2 shares for every share they had. You now have 2 contracts for every contract you had. If you had 3 contracts, you now have 6. If you had 8 contracts, you now have 16. So that goes with the flow. James, not putting my eggs in any basket at the moment. Market has not reached its 52-week lows. Let's go here. Shane Bardo, thank you for all the information. It was descriptively helpful. I hope it helped. All right, let's do some trivia. Welcome to the show. Those of you who are here, 54 of you now, fantastic. Please subscribe to Stock Markets with Bruce if you like what I'm doing and you want to keep on top of stock market news. I'm going to be doing videos hopefully on a daily basis. We'll do live shows more often. I've got some trivia questions all set up here on my big ass iPad. Normally I do this on my other channel, Traveling with Bruce, but today I thought I would do it here, and I put the note out to my TWB members. Come on over here and join us for trivia today, and let's see how we do with this. Here's how it works. I will read out a question that will have several answers. It'll have a number of correct answers. all I want you to do is send me your best guess, one answer at a time. Don't send me 4 answers in a row, just one at a time. So if you know 4 of these, send me 4 separate texts with your answer. Okay. Thank you. 40 thumbs up. Someone's saying I have already 40 thumbs ups. Thank you guys. That's fantastic. This first question has 20 correct answers. So no Googling, no cheating. Just try to work this off of your brain here. See how you do. And let's see what's going on. Thank you, Joe, for letting me know how many thumbs ups we have going on this channel already. This is fantastic. On today's show, absolutely marvelous. Every thumbs up that we get sends messages to the analytics computers at YouTube that this channel has lots of engagement with its viewers. It's recommended by YouTube to others. And so, folks, you're helping me dramatically. If you could throw me a thumbs up today, that would be great. The engagement is what it's all about. Thank you. All right. No, James, that is not the question. All righty, here comes the first one. Let me go to my banners here, and I have written down the first question for you. Can you tell me the closest countries to Germany, but not bordering Germany? What are the 20 countries closest to the country of Germany, but don't actually border the country? So you got to think of the country next door to that one. Fire away with your best guesses, and let's see how quickly we can get all 20. Rebecca is thinking France. No, France borders Germany, so we can't use France. Austria. James is thinking Austria. No, Austria borders Germany. Poland. The country Poland also borders Germany. Liechtenstein. That is the closest country to Germany that actually doesn't border Germany. 33 kilometers away, Liechtenstein. Absolutely. Eric is thinking Switzerland. You are correct, I believe. Switzerland. Am I correct or am I incorrect? No, I'm incorrect again. Switzerland does touch Germany. Sorry. France, Spain. Rebecca has Spain. España. Spain is a country near Germany, but we're not on this chart. We might be too far away. Turkey has just come in here. Let's take a look for Turkey. Nope, too far away. Italy. All right, Italy, 51 kilometers away. Italy is the second closest country to Germany. Zambia, too far away. Romania is here, 572 kilometers away. It is the 17th furthest out of the 20. It makes the list. United Kingdom, the UK. The United Kingdom, 310 kilometers away. It makes it. Israel, too far away. San Marino, which is inside Italy. 388 kilometers. Correct. Netherlands. The Netherlands. Looking for the Netherlands. I think they touch Germany. They are touching Germany. Finland. Finland is Finland in this too far away? Vatican, the country of the Vatican, 618 kilometers. Yes, it's the 20th furthest country away from Germany. The Czech Republic. Double checking here. I think it touches Germany. Ukraine is on the list, 589 kilometers away. Good afternoon, everybody. From sunny Malibu, says Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Welcome to the show. Monaco. James is thinking Monaco. Yep, 421 kilometers on the Mediterranean coast. Russia, the country of Russia, is 357 kilometers away from Germany. That's right. Antarctica, too far. Hungary, yes, 222 kilometers away. Serbia, the country of Serbia. Yep, 478 kilometers away. Andorra. Andorra is between France and Spain. I think it's too far away to count on this list. Saudi Arabia, too far away. James is saying, a question for us Europeans. Yes, indeed. Monaco is Bruce's favorite country. I would love to hang out there a little more. The Ukraine we've done, Italy we've done, and Malta. Malta is in the sea, made it too far away. I'm looking for a country just north of Germany. Malmo is one of the cities there. Looking for another country just south beside Italy, a country near Serbia, actually. A country beside the Czech Republic, actually. What country is right beside it, just to the west? Let's see here. We've got Iran. We have Montenegro coming in, too far away. Iran, Montenegro, Slovakia. Yes, Slovakia, 223 kilometers. That's the one I was thinking about. Iraq, Greece. Greece, too far away. Sweden, yes, Malmo, just north, 73 kilometers. Sweden is only 73 kilometers from Germany, about 45 miles away. That's how close these countries are to each other, and yet they don't border each other. Water separates them. Cuba, Iceland, Moldova. No, and no. Croatia, yes, 222 kilometers. Bosnia-Herzegovina, yes, 332 kilometers. Greece, Slovakia, Norway, 328 kilometers. Finland, Ireland, Ireland too far. Finland we've done. Bulgaria too far. The other country I'm looking for, it sounds like it. People think it's Slovakia. Sounds kind of like Slovakia, but it starts the same way. SLO with a V. What's that country called? Bulgaria, Scotland, Belarus. Yes, 586 kilometers, 3 to go, and we are done. I'm looking for countries in the Baltic area. Belarus, Slovenia. That's it. Slovakia and Slovenia are the two. Slovenia, 118 kilometers away. 2 countries left. Both are Baltic countries, just south of Finland and north of Poland. Let's see here. Kosovo, Estonia. There are 2 others. There's Estonia and 2 other countries, both starting with L. I almost gave it away. Both starting with L in Europe. And we are done. One is 459 kilometers away. One is 496. One of the cities in one of the countries is called Kaunas. Let's see here. We've got Latvia. That's one of them. That's one of the L countries. What's the other L country? James, you got it. Lithuania. There it is. This quiz is done. That did the first one right there. The closest countries to Germany without touching Germany: Liechtenstein, Italy, Sweden, Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, Slovakia, the United Kingdom, Norway, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Russia, San Marino, Monaco, Lithuania, Serbia, Latvia, Romania, Belarus, Ukraine, and Vatican City. Those are the closest 20 countries to Germany without actually neighboring Germany. All right, tell me the next one, the 10 cities, the 10 capital cities of Europe closest to Paris, France. If you were in Paris, France, what are the 10 closest capital cities in Europe to Paris? If you had to be a diplomat and you had to see the 10 nearest capitals, what would they be? Here we go. Let's see what we have. James is thinking London. Yep, 343 kilometers. London in the United Kingdom is one of them. Everyone is guessing London right now, and you are all correct. Absolutely correct. Dublin in Ireland, 779 kilometers. The 9th closest capital city to France, Paris, France, is Dublin. Madrid in Spain, España, nope, too far away. Bern in Switzerland, yes, 438 kilometers. The 5th closest capital city to Paris. Berlin, Germany, number 10 on the list. 878 kilometers, about an hour and 40 minutes by air now. Brussels, the closest capital to Paris is Brussels, 262 kilometers. Vaduz in Liechtenstein, 567 kilometers away. Luxembourg, in Luxembourg itself, 287. That's 287 kilometers, the 2nd closest capital. Rome, Italy, too far to count. Geneva is not the capital. Copenhagen, too far away. And Monaco, yes, the 690 kilometers. It's just right next to France itself. France and Italy are right next to the area. There's 2 left, 2 capital cities left. And it was Monaco City. Amsterdam, Amsterdam is the second last one, 429 kilometers away, the 4th closest capital, leaving us one more city and country. This country is located between France and Spain. It's a tiny little place, one of the smallest countries in all of Europe, famous for skiing in the winter and hiking and summer activities in the summer. Very well-to-do people live here. And James, you've got it. Andorra. Absolutely correct. Thank you, guys. That did that one. The 10 closest capitals to Paris, France: Brussels in Belgium, Luxembourg, London in the UK, Amsterdam, Bern, Switzerland. In Liechtenstein, that would be Vaduz, Monaco in Monaco, Andorra la Villa in Andorra, Dublin, Ireland, and Berlin, Germany. Well done, everyone. Quick to the point. Back to the United States. Tell me, in the USA, can you tell me the 10 state capitals that are the closest to Denver, Colorado? What are the 10 state capitals that are closest to Denver, Colorado? For you Americans out there, fire away your best guess. What capital cities in the West, the US West, are the closest? James is going, G-Man, Omaha. Thinking Omaha, Nebraska, too far away to count. Carson City, that would be Nevada, Carson City, Nevada, and it is too far away to count. Lincoln, Nebraska, yes, 444 miles, the fifth closest capital city. Very good, very well done, Sherry, well done. SLC, Cheyenne, yes, Cheyenne, Wyoming, the closest capital to Denver, 97 miles away, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Well done, SLGC Met. Salt Lake City, Joe is thinking Salt Lake City, too far away to count. No, it's not. I apologize. Third closest capital, 371 miles. Deadwood, says MG Toe. Nick B, Lansing in Michigan. No. Des Moines, Iowa. Does that even exist? Nope, not Des Moines. Not going to work. Indianapolis, too far away. Austin, Texas, too far away. Yuma, Arizona, not the capital of Arizona. Kansas City, not working. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yep, number 2 capital, 285 miles away. Santa Fe, New Mexico, the second closest capital to Denver. James is thinking Houston. That's not the capital of Texas. Topeka, Kansas. Yep, 499 miles away, the sixth closest capital to Denver, Topeka. Casper, Wyoming, not the capital. Honolulu, a little too far. Santa Fe. And Boise, Idaho, too far for Boise to make it. Sorry, Sean, can't do it. We're looking for the capital of South Dakota. What's the capital of South Dakota? Looking for the capital of Oklahoma, the capital for North Dakota, the capital of Arizona, and the capital of Montana. Those are the cities. I've given you the states. How easy is this? Austin, Texas is the guess for Texas. The problem is too far away to count, so we don't even need Texas. Sacramento, California, too far away. South Dakota City, that's what I need, but that's not it. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, yes, the sixth furthest capital away. Bismarck in North Dakota, yes, that is correct. Okie City, Bismarck, I know that one, says James. Pierre in South Dakota, the capital of South Dakota is Pierre, 398 miles away, the fourth closest. Denmark and Pierre are coming in. I only need the capital of Arizona and the capital city of Montana. Any guesses off the top of your heads what those are? Beijing, someone says. In Arizona, it's the most populated city in Arizona, and in Montana, it's not the most populated city, I don't think, but we've got Phoenix coming in here. Everyone's got Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona, 586 miles away from Denver, number 9 on the list. And Joe and Sean, Helena, Montana. Thank you. Yes, that completed that quiz. The closest capital cities to Denver are Cheyenne, Santa Fe, Salt Lake City, Pierre, Lincoln, Topeka, Oklahoma City, Bismarck, Phoenix, and Helena. Well done. All right, let's move on to the next one. We're getting off the geography cloud now. We're going into sports. Tell me, if you could, the teams of the big 4 sports leagues in North America that in baseball, basketball, hockey, and football, tell me the names of the teams or the cities with the worst losing record of all time, the seasons with the most losses. I've got about 10 for each league here. So tell me your favorite sports team that were losers at one time, or your unfavorite sports teams. Tell me the teams that have lost the most games in the regular season in baseball, football, basketball, and hockey. And let's see what we got. Joe is thinking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who can forget those guys? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Bucks. They lost a bunch of games, but I think they were a 14-game loser one year when they first came into the league, but they have been passed since by others. They're no longer the worst. They were close. Let's see. Dallas Cowboys. 1989. The Cowboys lost a whole bunch of games to hit the list of futility. 15 games lost in 1989. The Browns, Cleveland Browns. Cleveland not on the list. Oh, good heavens. I'll keep quiet on this one, says James. San Francisco 49ers, not in the all-time loser category. The New York Mets for baseball, the all-time losingest team ever. 1962, the Mets lost 120 games. 120 games is the only time they've ever been on the worst list. San Francisco Giants. San Francisco Giants, that could be football, but it could also be basketball, and they're in neither. Chicago Cubs for baseball. The Cubbies, never in the worst ever category. New York Knicks in NBA basketball. Nope, never have been in the worst category. Los Angeles, I need team names. The Canucks, Vancouver Canucks hockey team, never in the worst all time. The Browns, no. The Orioles, the baseball Orioles from Baltimore, never were the worst all time. Detroit Lions, yes, 16 losses in 2008, 12 years ago, 16 losses. The Detroit Lions, the worst team in pro football history. The Yankees, someone is thinking the Yankees would have had a bad year. Not bad enough to make the worst team ever. Houston Astros for baseball. Nope. Florida Marlins never made it to the worst of all time. The Cubs, the Cavaliers for basketball. The Cavs, nope, never were. Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies, yes. The Vancouver Grizzlies, I'll give you that one. 68 losses in 96-97. 1 year, the worst of all the league. Howard Green, what's poppin'? Great show, Bruce, about the 64 Mets. G-Man, Colts. The Colts. What about the Colts? Indianapolis Colts. 15 losses in 1991. The worst. The Red Sox. Alex Poling, the Red Sox. Boston Red Sox, 111 losses in 1932. That was the one time they made the worst. Washington Wizards. The Wizards for Washington never made the worst team in NBA history. Oakland A's for baseball. No, Oakland A's never were one of the worst teams in baseball. The Nets, the New Jersey Nets. Yep, 2009, 2010, they lost 70 games. That means they won 10, lost 70. That is one of the worst of all time. The White Sox for baseball. Nope, they're not here. Cleveland Indians for baseball, not in the all-time worst. The New York Islanders for hockey, 72-73. When they first came in the league, 60 losses. The Islanders once were one of the worst of all time. Cubs, we've done. Washington Generals for the Harlem Globetrotters, worst of all time, yes. San Jose Sharks, now you got a winner. The Sharks, they lost 71 games in 92-93, the NHL record of all-time records. I think that means they won 11 games, lost 71. The Sharks lost 58 in 91-92, the year before. So they were going down. They were twice on the worst of all time. Tampa Bay Rays for baseball. Nope, not on the list. Miami Dolphins for football. Yes, 15 losses in 2007 for the Dolphins. The Diamondbacks, not all-time losers. No. Los Angeles Kings in hockey. Nope. We got Miami, New Orleans Saints in football. Yes, 15 losses in 1980. They were the worst at that time. Any more guesses? Winnipeg Jets. Nope, the Winnipeg Jets never hit that kind of futility. Pittsburgh Steelers never lost that much in football. No. Oakland Raiders in football. No, never lost that many games. Dallas Mavericks in basketball. Yes. In 92-93, they lost 71 games. The Mavs, they were terrible. In 93-94, 69 losses. They had two really bad seasons in a short period of time. Golden State Warriors. Golden State, never on the worst list like that. Let's go. The Bills, Buffalo Bills. Nope, not the worst NFL performers all time. The Braves, baseball Braves. How about the Boston Braves? 115 losses in 1935. How about them apples? Any other teams called the Braves to lose? I think that is it for baseball. Orlando Magic for basketball. Never made it on the loser team. Minnesota Twins for baseball. The Twins, nope, not on MLB's list. Toronto Raptors for basketball. The Raptors never lost that many games. Seattle Supersonics, nope. The Patriots, New England Patriots, 1990, 15 losses. Oh, those are the bad old days for the Patriots. The Trailblazers, Portland Trailblazers, never on the losers like that. Nope. Boy, do I need teams. I need baseball teams. I need hockey. Still need some NBA, but oh my goodness. Buffalo Braves, NBA, the era. That's true. Not showing on the all-time loser list. The Falcons football, nope. Montreal Expos for baseball. They were never that bad. They might have been bad, but never that bad. The Bruins, Boston Bruins, never were that bad. No. Flyers, Philadelphia Flyers were never on the worst of all time loser lists. Nope. The Padres in baseball. Padres never made it to that futility. Kansas City Royals for baseball futility. Never made it. Nope. Think big market cities. Toronto Blue Jays. Nope. Never made it. Never made it that bad. For baseball, I'm thinking of two cities that are less than 150 miles apart from each other in the east area, mid part of the country in the east. Big hints for you. Milwaukee Brewers. Nope, never made that list. Expos, no. Washington Senators. Yeah, Washington Senators. 1904, they lost 113 games. 1909, they lost 110 games. Washington. Now think of a city less than 150 miles from Washington. You'll get the other one. Cincinnati Reds, never lost that many games. The Mets we've done. The Orioles we've done. The Yankees, nope, never did. The Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, nope. Baltimore Orioles, nope. Philadelphia Phillies, yes. The Philadelphia Phillies, 1941, lost 111 games. In 1928 and 42, they lost 109. The Philadelphia Athletics lost 109 in 1915, and the Philadelphia Athletics lost 117 in 1916. Oh my gosh, they were terrible. Miami Cruise Farers and Pittsburgh Pirates. Yes, Pittsburgh Pirates lost 112 games in 1952. There's only one baseball team left, and it's where they make cars. For basketball, looking for big cities with millions of people. The 76ers, the worst team in NBA history, 73 losses in 1972, 73. They were terrible. The Devils, New Jersey Devils, not on the worst all time. Fairway, Detroit Tigers, yep, the second worst baseball team of all time, 119 losses in 2003. We don't need any more baseball teams. We're now looking for basketball, football, and hockey. We've got the Pistons, Detroit Pistons for basketball. Nope, I'm not looking for Detroit. I'm looking for cities in the West, the West, the very far West Coast, the South, and the Gulf of Mexico South, way south. In basketball, Chicago Bulls, no. The Coyotes for hockey, no. LA Clippers, no, not that. No. Yes, actually, that's right. LA Clippers, thank you. 70 losses for the Clippers, 86-87. They were terrible. Now I'm looking for one team in the West, one in the Southeast, and one in the Deep South. Washington Senators, we did. Cincinnati Bengals for football. No. Trailblazers, no. Utah Jazz, no. The Vancouver Lions, no. Miami Heat, no, not that South. Looking for a team in Texas for basketball, one in Georgia, one in Colorado. For hockey, I'm looking for the province of Ontario in Canada. Looking for the province of Quebec in Canada. Georgia in the U.S. for hockey. And Pennsylvania for hockey as well. Okay, we've got the Houston Rockets. Yes, 68 losses and 82-83. That is the Deep South team I'm looking for. The Rockets, the Spurs, the Diamondbacks, the Rockets, the Montreal Canadiens. No, Montreal never loses. Not like this. The Penguins. Yes, Pittsburgh Penguins. 58 losses, 83-84. Sorry, MJ, no can do. Let's see here. Atlanta Flames. The Atlanta Flames. No, the other Atlanta team. The team that came after the Flames in Atlanta. What were they called? Does anyone remember the second team Atlanta had in the NHL? They were losers too, and they left town. NBA, I need a team in Colorado, and I need a team in Georgia for the NBA. Atlanta Hawks, there you go. 69 losses in 2004-05. The Hurricanes, Colorado, the Canes in Carolina. No, they're never on the worst team list. Denver Nuggets. Yeah, Denver, 71 losses, 97-98. We're done with the NBA. It's NHL, NFL. NFL, I need a team that plays in New Jersey for New York. In the NFL, I need a team that plays in California, but they're not playing there anymore, but they used to play in this city. I need a team in the Far East for the NFL, halfway down the coast. And I need a team in the Midwest for the NFL. We've got Hartford Whalers, the Jets, and the Panthers. New York Jets, 15 losses in 1989. Correct. Florida Panthers, no. Hockey, no. Penguins, Chargers, yes. The San Diego Chargers, 15 losses in 2000. The Jets, the Redskins, and the Raiders, no, and no. The Ravens, the Rams, the St. Louis Rams, 15 losses, 2009. One team left in the NFL on the East Coast, halfway down the coast. Detroit Lions, the Rams, San Antonio Spurs. For the NHL, I'm looking for a team in Ontario, not the Maple Leafs, the other one. I'm looking for a team in Quebec, but not the Montreal Canadiens. They don't exist anymore. Trick questions. Eagles, Rangers, Spurs. Let's see. And I need a team in the United States that just won the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago for the very first time ever in the eastern end of the U.S. I wonder if you can figure out that one. Quebec Nordiques, correct. That is the Quebec team I'm looking for. 61 losses in 89-90 for the Quebec Nordiques, one of the worst teams in all of hockey. Nordiques. The Panthers, right. The Carolina Panthers, 15 losses in 01. That's NFL done. We're down to the NHL. Ottawa Senators, yep, 70 losses in 92-93, 61 losses 93-94, 59 losses 95-96. How did the fans stand it? I don't know. And the Capitals, the Washington Capitals, the other capital city in North America, the Washington Capitals lost 67 games in 74-75. They lost 59 games in 75-76. Leaves us one team left in all of Sportsville. Hockey team, Georgia, not the Georgia Atlanta Flames, but the other Atlanta hockey club that left the NHL, left Atlanta behind to go to Winnipeg. What was the name of that hockey club that left Atlanta, Georgia to go to Winnipeg about 6-7 years ago or so? They had 61 losses in 2000. And the reason you guys don't know it is because no one cared about this team. That's why they left town. It's the Atlanta Thrashers. You remember those guys? Why? Why would you remember them? They're long gone. That did that quiz. Thank you, everybody. I'm not going to read back all these team names. The futility, they should really be forgotten, don't you think? One quiz left. Here we go. thank you for being here today. Thank you for being with me today. I really appreciate it. I forgot to write the banner, so I'm just going to give you the name. I'm going to read the question aloud to you and see if you can finish this one off. There are 38 of you here, and there are 25 answers to this question, and I don't think you're going to have any trouble getting most of these correct very quickly. The quiz to finish off today's show, and thank you for being here and watching me on Stock Markets with Bruce. I really appreciate it. Here's your question. Can you name the countries of the world that have won the most Olympic medals in the summer and the winter games combined? What countries of the world have won the most Olympic medals at the summer and winter games combined in the history of the modern day Olympics? Here we go. Rebecca is thinking Japan has won a lot of medals, and you would be correct. Japan is ranked number 15 with 497 medals. G-Man, China, Bruce. Number 8 in the world for medals, 608 Olympic medals in China. James is thinking Brazil. Brazil for Olympic medals. And let me see if Brazil ranks in the top 25 countries all time. It does not, probably because it's not that strong in the Winter Games. Alex is thinking Russia. The country of Russia. Yes, number 9 in the world for Olympic medals, 546. Joe is thinking the Soviet Union, the USSR. Remember way back when? Yeah. Number 2 all time is the USSR at 1,204 Olympic medals, US and summer, winter and summer combined. The USSR. Rebecca is thinking Canada. Canada is in 13th place, 501 medals. Sherry's thinking the United States, of course, number 1. Number 1 for the USA, 2,827 medals for the USA. Sean is thinking East Germany. You remember when they used to be their own country? East Germany. They were a powerhouse, 11th most medals all time, 519. They haven't won a medal since 1988, and they're still number 11. Yeah, they were powerful. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Switzerland, 18th place, 345 medals. Denmark for Olympics. Denmark for Olympic medals, not in the top 25. The Vatican, no can do. Russia. France, we've got France here, number 5. 840 medals. Germany, yes, number 4 all time. That would be West Germany and Germany combined, 855 medals. If you add East Germany, they would be at over 1,300. They'd be number 2 now. England, the United Kingdom, the UK, Great Britain, number 3 all time, 880 medals. Botswana, no can do. Greece, the country of Greece doesn't rank in the top 25. South Korea, number 19 in the world, 337 combined medals. Romania, the country of Romania, number 21 all time, 307 medals. Sweden, number 7 all time, 652 medals. South Africa, not in the top 25. Norway, number 10 all time, 520 medals. Well done. You have the top 5. You're missing number 6. You're missing number 12. And then there's a bunch behind that. Let's see the next one. The Czech Republic. No can do on the Czech Republic. Spain, España, not in the top 25. Australia, number 12 all time, 512 medals. Summer Games, Australia comes through. Jamaica, they got the runners, but not enough. Hungary, I think we've done. No, we haven't. Number 14 is Hungary, 498 medals. Poland, a country of Poland, 22nd all time, 306 medals. You've got the top 5, then you've got the next all the way to 15th place. Only about 6 countries to go. Cuba, yep, number 24 all time, 225 medals, all summer games. Very well done. The country I'm thinking of, number 5 all time, number 6 all time, held the games in 1964. The games were held in this country in 64. Do you remember the name of this country? It's in Europe. Mexico just came in here. Mexico, not in the top 25. Number 16 on the list. They had the Olympics in the 50s. They're famous for where you pick up your Nobel Peace Prize. Where do you go for that? think I got that right. Ireland for medals. No. Brazil, Ireland, Italy. Yes, Italy, number 6 all time. Italy. They have 701 all time medals. The Netherlands, Greece, Netherlands, number 17, 415 medals. Well done. West Germany, by the way, came in at 23rd at 243. Germany came in at number 4, 855. East Germany, number 11, 519. We got all the Germanys covered. Nobel Peace Prize is in Sweden. Sweden, you're right. And we've already done Sweden. Forgive me on this one. I am forgetting this country. This country, I'm trying to remember to give you a hint. It is a neighbor of Sweden and Norway and Russia. What is the name of this country? They are famous for cross-country skiing and for jumping off the ski hill, going an awful long way. What is the name of this country? They also make some very good vodka, apparently. Finland. Everyone's guessing Finland. Yes, it's Finland. I was thinking Oslo, but it's Oslo, Norway. And Sweden is, doesn't matter what city. Anyway, we've got that done. There are 2 countries left. One country is where, do you remember Franz Klammer? Do you remember that guy? What's his name? Franz Klammer, downhill skier, fearless, would win the gold medal. This country has hosted the Winter Olympics several times. And the other country, I'm going to give up on it. It's Bulgaria, number 25. But this country, Austria, thank you, Sherry. You bailed me out. It's Austria, Florence Klammer, 20th most winter and summer game medal count, 319. We're done. You guys have done all the trivia I've put together today. And I want to thank you for joining me here with me today for my first ever live show on Stock Markets with Bruce. Thank you for being here today. I will do more shows going forward for Stock Markets with Bruce, where we will talk stock markets and stocks and everything else. Open to your questions. If you have any questions about investing and that type of thing, if I can help you, give you the guidance you need, I'll do all I can for you. Thank you for also joining me on my other page, Traveling with Bruce. Excuse me. I really appreciate that. We will be live on Monday night on Traveling with Bruce. I'll be live at 7 o'clock in the evening for my sponsor members, and at 8 o'clock in the evening on Monday night for the entire channel. And I look forward to having as many of you there follow me as possible. Thank you for making this first show a success. I really appreciate it. We've been on for an hour and 42 minutes, and there are still 41 of you here. It's fantastic that you followed me. Appreciate it very much. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Eric Z, for being here. Thank you, Rebecca, for being here today, too. I hope you have a great weekend this weekend, everybody. Keep an eye on this channel and on my other channel for update and videos. So I will likely continue cranking them out. I like to crank videos out at any time. Make sure you hit the little bell icon that should be down here or down here, so you'll get alerts every time I do a video or I'm going live. You'll get an email from YouTube letting you know that Bruce is up to something again. Rebecca, thank you for being here, and have a great weekend as well. And I will see you guys Monday night live on Traveling with Bruce. Keep an eye on this channel and that channel for updates and videos. And have a great weekend. And I hope you get nice weather. And we'll catch you later. James, thank you. Jan, thank you also. And also John Hughes, as I see the last of these messages coming through. I'm out of here. Stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you later, everybody. Bye for now. Thank you, Sean. I see you. There you are. I got you in there, John. I got you at the end. Bye for now.